into that descent. They'll make this right-hand turn as they head back towards the centre.
Well, Bates is a really strong endurance athlete. Remember, came from other sports as well. She's been rowing, triathlon as well. Can keep an effort going. That gap now is still at 2 seconds, and there's a lot of pressure here on the one rider who's left in the race from her team. You can see behind the team yellow, Fuego, they're looking good. They've still got 2 riders left here, but there's a lot of pressure there on Lethbridge, who's the only rider left in red. She needs bigger points than the 5 on offer here.
She certainly does, and it's all about leaving it out on the road now, because you can see Godby, you start to see all of the riders really starting to tire fatigue. It's the body starts to overheat. You've got the fans in front of the riders to keep them as cool as possible, and at the moment Bjarhead can just sit and wait patiently. Lethbridge in the red, there is Godby and the blue jersey of Team Epic, and Lou Bates, Rob, she's been working on this real explosive power that we're seeing here.
Aero power-ups have just been deployed. Time to go faster on the flat, and that's exactly what they're doing. Godby under the same pressure as Lethbridge that I was just talking about. But look at this. This is a perfect 1-2 through the next sprint again. And we know who our leaders are already going to be after the first event, despite what's happened there. It is Team Fuego who take the 2. It's Lethbridge, and it's the Lava team who are not erupting yet.
Tactical perfection from Team Fuego there. You saw the way that Marlene Bjarhead just deployed her power-up, the aero power-up, to make sure she wasn't eliminated at that final elimination at the Champions Sprint. She eliminated Alice Lethbridge, and you saw the celebration there from Martin Martens.
So 3 riders at the front together, 2 teammates. Can they work together tactically and work them over? There's 1 kilometre to go. Final kilometre. We're under the Flamme Rouge. It's Jackie Godby against the world here.
Well, she's been in this position before on this very circuit, a bronze medalist in Glasgow at the Esports World Championships in February. She knows how to be able to take on this sprint, but at the moment, how can she break the team of Fuego? It's 2 against 1. Godby finding herself on the front. She's got the support on the stage here from Charlotte Colclough and Ben Hill at the moment.
650 metres to the line, uphill it goes again, 3%, and those riders who aren't as strong in the sprint just trying to hang on here.
Bjarhead is almost trying to draw this one out. Can she try and open a gap when Lou Bates can just sit and wait patiently? They're biding their time, they're waiting, and at the moment waiting for that gap to start to open up.
Godby then waiting in the wheel as we get to 400 metres to go now. Can she be the queen of the virtual cycling world? Around the corner we come. It's uphill still to the moment. 350 metres turns to 330. More metres tick away as we see a little bit of a downhill here. Off we go, and the finish line is up ahead now. 250 metres to go. It's Bates at the front. It's Bjarhead drifting to the back, but she's going for the power up now, and the feather has also been deployed by the other 2 riders. But look at Bjarhead go here as it's Bates who's been at the front, now taken over behind. Bjarhead is there. She's got finish line in sight. 100 metres to go. Bjarhead's going to do it for Sweden. She's going to do it for Team Fuego. Bjarhead, the power all across the line. It's maximum points for Team Fuego, and Bjarhead takes the first win on this historic day here in Singapore.
What a performance from Team Fuego. That was to perfection. The way that Bjarhead and Bates, they connected with each other as teammates. First and third, and this is the effort that it's taken from Bates. What a performance to try and go long, really put the pressure on the other teams, the other riders, and Fuego are on fire.
They certainly are, Hannah. Perfect teamwork there. Perfect teamwork. We saw it on stage in real life. We saw it in the game. And as well as the power, they played the game to perfection. You could see the power-ups taken, executed to perfection.
It was a tactical masterclass, I have to say. This is what it takes to be a team, a unit, compelling racing. Their strategy was well thought out beforehand. You can see, because it was executed perfectly. This wasn't just something where they've decided, I want to try and attack. This was a pre-planned move here.
A pre-planned move then, as we see riders now getting ready for our next race. The men will take on the Eliminator in just a moment's time. That has been a great start.
It really has. Thank you so much, Hannah and Rob, to get things started here in the eliminator for the women. What a race we saw. Hannah described it as a tactical masterclass. We're going to head down to the stage where our colleague Chad Nayland is, and hopefully we'll be hearing from one of the people that picked up the points. Chad, who have you got for us?
Bueno, nada, viendo aquí las bicicletas.
Got Marlene Bierhead here from Sweden, Team Fuego, doing an amazing job here, going 1-3 in the women's eliminator. Marlene, I saw you collapse onto this bike when you got through the finish line. Talk us through the emotions of winning that one.
There's no time to think, you know. Just push it, and my teammates screamed at me, so it was just a push.
How helpful is that to have your teammates cheering you on, having Lou Bates, who set the pace early, plus a live crowd in front of you?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's the first time, so I'm really happy.
Now 1-3, good bag of points, puts you in a great position to take home the trophy later. Do you think the men can back that up?
Yeah, I'm sure they will just smash it.
Well done, Marlene. Great work winning the women's eliminator. I'm going to get over here. Put your hands together, Singapore, for our winners. Team Fuego, Lou Bates.
Muy bien, Team
You are
Fuego.
dripping in sweat. You put the pace in that first eliminator. Attack after attack after attack. Was that the plan?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was pretty hard. All these riders are amazing riders, so we know it's going to be hard to win
mira
at
cómo
all.
quedan.
So
Y
yeah, our
todo el mundo
best
viendo ahí.
tactic was to work as a team. Marlene has an amazing kick, so we wanted to make sure she could use that at the end. So yeah, that was the plan.
How on earth are you going to back this up in about 20 to 30 minutes when you have to be back on the bike competing again?
Well, I guess that's what we train for. A lot of us are quite used to doing back-to-back races and potentially longer races. So yeah, a bit of rest, spin the legs out, watch the guys, and yeah, hopefully we'll be ready to put on another show.
Amigo,
We
deja
heard them
descansar,
cheering you
deja
on,
descanso,
the
por
fellas
favor.
cheering the girls on in that last one. Time to return the favour?
Absolutely. They might be regretting it.
Well done, Lou. Well, there we go, Anita. Team Fuego off to a fantastic start, got a lot of points.
Thank you so much, Chad, for giving us the reaction there from the riders. Lou probably needs to catch her breath after an incredible performance. Rob, Hannah, can you talk to us about the point you think in that race where Team Fuego in yellow managed to just set the pace there?
I think it was that initial attack from Lou Bates with a few kilometres to go, because that was really the part where riders were starting to feel fatigue. They're really at their limit there. That's where you're at their highest intensity. And the way that Lou Bates was able to exert herself over that climb, open up the lead, and she had 3-4 seconds of an advantage. It meant that her teammate Marlene Bierhead could sit and wait patiently and force the other teams to do the chasing there, and that really was what set things apart. And you saw within that final kilometre that they were waiting patiently. They weren't getting drawn into trying to go early, knowing just how fast and powerful Jackie Godby
Me
is.
gusta
They
Team Fuego,
really
Team
waited
Epic,
until that 200
Team
metres
Lava
to go marker,
y
waited
Team
for the climb up
Titans.
to the Clyde kicker. And
Me gusta esta
it
cosa
was
los
into
equipos con nombres
perfection the way
graciosos.
that both of them deployed their power-ups, and in doing so, the gap that Bierhead opened up was exceptional.
And Rob, the crowd loved to see it as well. They got involved at multiple points during that race. We worried about whether stage fright could play a role. It definitely didn't here today for Team Fuego.
Nah, nobody was scared in front of the crowd, were they? And there's more to come. As you can see, we've had the first of our 6 events. We just saw, of course, the early league table as well. 10 points difference between bottom and top. Just shows that the next race, race 2, Eliminator Men, is going to take roughly 18 minutes or so, we think, for everybody to get around. So the longest of the races that we're going to have today. Yet again, raced in Scotland on the wee-in. We've already seen that climb, then the descent first up.
So looking at how the women did in the Eliminator, we just had a reminder of what the course looks like. The men are about to take their positions to do it as well. What lessons do you think they can take from their female counterparts?
I think for the men, they've seen just how intense, just how tactical that women's race started out. So they'll be really starting to think, well, where can I make my move? How can I save energy? Where can I get some recovery and respite? So I think for the men going into this, they've really learned a lot, and now they're going to have that encouragement from their female counterparts within their team. And as Lou Bates said, they might be regretting the encouragement that they gave them during their race, because I think think Bjarhen and Bates are going to go wild for their teammates Martins and Barnes.
No, I think we all love the encouragement. We hope to see it
Bueno,
again,
esperando
and
que
the
el
crowd as
equipo de
well.
los
They've been fantastic
hombres
here on the first event
en
of
las
the
chicas
Olympic
ganaron
events
Fuego.
that we've got here. So incredible stuff. We're getting ready to kick off for the men's eliminator. Rob, Hannah are in position. It looks like our men riders as well. Rob, take away, please.
Off we go. It's eliminator for the second and final time already this morning. Riders out through the start gate. You can see them lined up and ready to go. Rider highlighted there in the red is Vujasin from Belgium. And as we go through our first opening arch, we're underway. It's Nier who's first through for the United States there. Ben Hill down at the back there in the blue. We're getting going. 13.1 kilometers to go. We've had 300 meters of racing. The power numbers are being put up, and we've seen already that Michal Kaminski's putting in quite a lot of power here. Vujasin's there. It's a bit of catch-up for Ben Hill, but we're all together, Hannah. It's time to go racing.
It certainly is. With Martins just starting to open up a little gap, they'll be able to see now just how they can play this one, because it won't be long. We're already into the lower slopes of the Skjør Summit South. This is a 1 kilometer climb, an average gradient of 3.3%. It doesn't sound too severe, but you start to see some really steep gradients on this climb.
Not always the parkour, it's how it's raced, isn't it,
Hannah? It certainly is. It's that intensity, and if you see multiple riders start to make attacks, wanting to try and break away, that's where the difficulty really comes in on a climb like this.
There's Kill Power on the right side of your picture. Just moving up through the group, by the way. The green jersey now going to hit the front on the left-hand side in the virtual world. We can see him in real life, bottom right, just before the shot changes. He's a man who's having a really good 2023, isn't he? 5th at the Esports World Championships this year.
It certainly is, and I think for all of these riders, they've all performed very well in the UCI Esports World Championships. That took place at the end of February. You see Lionel Vujasin, he's been 5th in the UCI Esports World Championships previously. We've got some of the best esports riders in the world, so they've all earned their places through the World Championships. We start to see the power-ups start to be deployed as the road starts to rise.
And plenty of them. There's a big, big change in power. The watts are being put through the pedals, but it is Power himself who's struggling. He's got catching up to do behind. We're off towards the first arch. The first elimination is about to take place. It's Power who's struggling to find the power, I'm afraid, right now. He's off the back. He's struggling. Let's see where we get. And it looks as though he has gone. Goodbye, Kel Power.
Goodbye, Kel Power.
1 point.
1 point for Team Titans, and whilst they've got 1 point at the moment, you want to try and get the maximum points. So although there's points on the scoreboard at the moment for Team Titans, it's not the position where they'll want to be. Kaminski just utilising this descent, sitting at the back, and you can see now where he's able to take that recovery. He can freewheel on his IRL bike, on the watt bike here, whilst his avatar still moves through the peloton.
Well, Power top right, stopping, pedalling now. Of course, he's going to stay in the picture because they're descending, as you said. But he has gone. 7 riders remain. 11 kilometres left right now. Ben Hill, right inside. He has won big things on the road in Asia. He's won in Japan. He's won the Tour of Thailand. And in Europe, he's led the Tour of Slovenia. And Slovenia's, anybody who knows road cycling knows, is the top nation in the world at the moment.
It is. It's one of the top-ranked nations in the world, courtesy of their prolific riders. Tadej Pogačar, of course, a 2-time Tour de France winner, Primož Roglič. And so for Ben Hill, having led the Tour of Slovenia, you've led the King of the Mountains classification over there. Hill has got that experience both in esports and on the road. With that tactical ability.
10.4 kilometers to go.
10 kilómetros faltan, imagínate.
3 minutes 58 seconds of racing. Lauri at the front from Finland. There's Mertens. We're looking at Barnes here from South Africa. James Barnes, who is from Johannesburg. I gather he lives down in New Zealand nowadays.
He does. He's lived in New Zealand over the last couple of years with his wife, with his whippet. He's a fast rider, is James Barnes. But yeah, hails from South Africa. Made the trip over. And Barnes, he's an exceptional esports rider. He's won more Zwift Premier Division races than any other Zwifter in esports. So he really is at the height of his game. He's one of the best. Tactically, again, James Barnes is exceptional. He's got a great turn of speed on him. You can see there's the point standings at the moment, courtesy of the first race, the women's race. Team Fuego with 14, Epic with 11, Lava with 7 points. Team Titans, the team in green, with 5 points. They've already lost Kiel Powers, so it really is down to his teammate now, Zach Nier, the rider from the USA, to really try and bridge that gap, pick up the big points.
Here we go, everybody's watching Zach Nier. They're around him. Even the rider eliminated, of course, who was Kiel Powers. He's on the right-hand side. Nier, remember, green as we look at it on this graphic now. He's drifting to the back. And his team desperately needs something from him. We saw from that last graphic that went up there, they're bottom of the league and trailing.
They are, and they've got the support from the teammates. Kiel Power, he's immediately off his bike to go and support his teammate Nair. Likewise with Vicky Whitelaw. Lisa Hermansen just continuing her warm-up. She wants to be ready for the climb race, which is the final race for the women at the moment. Ben Hill, as we go on to this gravel section, just moving his way up through the pack in the blue jersey. Kaminsky sitting calm and comfortable, and there's Teppo Lorio in the red jersey at the back.
Lorio there, his teammate Vujasen alongside him in the shot we see now. On those Watt bikes, of course, they're the Bridgestone bikes. Everybody on the same equipment, so there's no disparity in any equipment. Of course, everybody's physical nature will change. We had weigh-ins yesterday, measurements. It all contributes to what we see in the power numbers that are put out.
Worth noting as well that each rider's account was locked overnight. Once that weigh-in had been done, once the height measurements had all been done, nobody could access their account. So it's all a level playing field, all on the same equipment in the real life as well.
A big effort here from Laurio. He needs to catch up because I don't think he'll do it, though. Laurio's trying to stay involved, but it looks as though he's going to be the next rider to go.
But he's coming back at the moment. Look at the way that he's closing this gap here. He just had the aero power up. He's moving onto the wheel of James Barnes at the moment. And look at this. It looks like the rider, Martin Martin's eye is going to be close.
Laurio goes off the back. He used that power up early, didn't manage to close the gap. It was tense, it was tight for a moment. Goodbye to Laurio, who takes 2 points. We have 6 riders and 8.3 kilometres remaining.
But Rob, it just shows the timing of that power-up, just how crucial that is. Because if you make a mistake tactically, with these races being so short, there's no room for error. There's no room to correct yourself.
In terms of power-ups, of course, a lot of people will be asking, well, where do they come from? When do they get them? How does that happen?
Each time that the riders go through an archway, so you just saw one there over the top of that climb, they'll pick up a power-up. It's an option of 2 power-ups. It comes at random. It's a 50-50 chance. So we saw there Laurio deploying the aero power-up. That makes you more aerodynamic for 15 seconds. The other option is the feather power-up. That's the green little icon that comes above the riders' heads in the avatar. That makes you 10% lighter for 30 seconds. So it really comes down tactically of when you want to use your power-up. I mean, for the aero power-up, really, you want to try and keep it for those where it's a fast sprint, or you want to try and get yourself back into the group, as did Teppo Lorio.
This is a very, very fast race. Halfway through almost already now. 7.3 kilometres to go. About to turn round, head back down into the city. And remember, we saw earlier on today the races in Glasgow. It's not the flattest of cities, is it? There's a couple of hills, a nasty Clyde kicker.
The difference of this course is it's short, sharp climbs, and it's really that intensity that can really do the damage. You can never really get into a rhythm, as Vujasen wants to try and break things up here. I spoke to him yesterday, and he said he wants to try and go long. He doesn't want to wait and take the faster riders, the likes of James Barnes, to the finish line. If he can try and do some damage, that's what he wants to try and do.
He has a 0.4 second advantage right now. A really experienced rider on the bike in real life and in esports. He's a former Zwift Academies finalist. That's where the top esports talents compete for pro road contracts. He's been up there in the top 5 and a further 6th place in the Worlds. This is a man who can ride a bike, whether it be on the road or in the virtual road.
And he's one of those riders, Rob, that is able to really go to his depths. He's really able to find something special even when you're already at that 100%. You can see the vital statistics here. His heart rate at 175 beats per minute, keeping a really nice cadence, keeping around that 79, 80 revs per minute, and you can just see the power output there. 312 watts.
Under a little bit of pressure to stay in on our next elimination at least, isn't he? Because he's the only rider in the red jersey of Team Lava remaining. He's moving to the front here again as we go up towards our next elimination point that is coming up in just a moment or two. Power-ups being taken, as you can see, they're executing those moments to sprint from the group and not be the last rider across the line. It is that last rider who will go. At the minute, it's Barnes who's just losing the wheel, but he's going to come around the rider there in green, who's Nair. Nair's in a little bit of trouble here. His power-ups warm off. He's got to make one effort to get through the arch if he can. I don't think he can, though.
It's head down. It's giving everything to the line at the moment, but Nair just found himself in difficulty. He's been eliminated.
Nair goes, goodbye, but look at what it cost the likes of Hill and Kaminski on the right-hand side. The pain faces in real life, not like the smiles we see on the game. So here we go. 3 points then for Nair. That will go to the team Titans total. We'll take them to 8. Downhill we go now.
Wow.
5 riders remaining. Fair moment of calm in this race.
You've got to try and find your moment just to reset, keep your calm, keep that focus, not get too distracted also on what your opponents are doing. Really focus on your effort, keep that cool, keep that calm, focus on the plan that you made coming into this with your teammates.
Oh, we know that fun is fast, don't we, on Zwift, and that is what's happening here. This is not one long 200-kilometre race like we'll see at the Tour de France next week. This is a race with a finish line every kilometre or two.
It's short, intense. You see high powers. You see there Michael Kaminski just trying to move himself back on, upwards of 700 watts there. But you can see dramatically just how much the heart rate has dropped there, Rob, after that descent. So this is a moment of cool, of calm, get that heart rate down. One thing that we can't see on the right-hand side on the riders is the fans that are on the floor to keep them as cool as possible, because as we know, once you start to get your core body temperature high, that's when it really starts to affect your performance. Keep your body cool as well with the fans.
One thing that's unique today, I've just seen a conversation between Michał Kaminski there, who's just up the pace, and his teammate Ben Hill. They were talking tactics. We're seeing how that might react to the move now from Vujasin, who's on the right-hand side. We talked about this before. A lot of the time people are at home. They're remote. Today we're all together. You can see each other. You can talk to your teammates. This makes it a different event altogether.
Yeah, normally when you're at home racing with your esports team, you'll be using a communication method with headphones in your ear to be able to communicate with your teammates. Here, we're in one arena, we're in one place. It means that they can talk to each other only a few meters away. I've also just seen that Tepolorio going over to Lionel Vujasin, just giving him an update of what the other riders look like, what they're doing, what effort are they starting to make.
Vujasin has put in a couple of different moves that have been brought back. Remember Hill and Kaminski there, the Aussie and the Pole at the back in the blue. Barnes from South Africa, Martens from Germany, Vujasin is the Belgian of Croatian extraction. Here he is at the front. Red jersey on. He's the only man who doesn't have a teammate here. As you've seen, both riders from the green team from Titans not really living up to their names so far. They're out. They're sitting down. They're watching on. 3.5 kilometres to go. One more elimination before we get to the final sprint.
We're heading towards that short, sharp, punchy climb of the Clyde kicker. I mean, it's in the name. It's what it suggests. This is where we see the big gradient start to form, and Martin Martens just getting himself ready alongside Vujasin, just in the yellow jerseys on the left-hand side of the road, and this is where Martens goes.
Martens making his move. He's a state hill climb champion back in Germany. He knows everything about going uphill. He looks strong here, but can he hold on? He's putting his own teammate in trouble, but look at Vujasin go. He's desperately pedaling for that arch, and despite starting the move, it's bad news for Team Fuego. Martens putting his own teammate in trouble and only just surviving himself. It's Barnes who's out.
Barnes is out at the moment, and it means that They've lost that one rider. He goes away with the 4 points. The next elimination will come at that champion sprint. That'll be the final elimination on the road. But you can see there, the teammate of James Barnes, Martins, really put his teammate into that difficulty and eliminating his teammate.
Ben Hill continuing to go and push on here as we see Martins still in the race, but off the back. Oh, no, no, no. How's this happened? He's 4 to 5 seconds back. And in this game, on this course, before we get to the next elimination, he's struggling here.
And the gap grows to 7 seconds. We're upwards towards 8 seconds. This is going to be mightily difficult for Martin Martins to try and close the gap to Kaminski, who's in front of him. And Ben Hill, whilst all this has been going on, he leads by 2.5 seconds.
It's a clever move from the team in blue, Epic, with an epic tactical play, and Martin's now 11.5 seconds back. What a tactical own goal. I mean, if you're going to make a move like that, you've got to have the legs to back it up.
You have to have the legs. You've also got to have that power, the intensity to sustain the power, and Martin's perhaps a big tactical error, but as I said, this is short, sharp racing, no margin for correction.
The Team Fuego women did the job, their men for now failing to back it up, and Martins needs an absolute miracle. He is now 9 seconds off the 3rd place rider. I think we can safely say he's going to be the next rider to be eliminated now.
There's no coming back from this. Once you start to get to 23 seconds, it's all over for Team Fuego. They need to reset and move on to the next race.
But with 1.4 kilometers to go as Hill goes through that elimination arch, he now has 11.7 seconds on Vujasin. And look at Michał Kaminski. What a tactical job he's doing. He's sitting on the wheel. He's waiting. If he comes to the front, he can maybe even slow it up a little here.
He can. The man from Warsaw in Poland is playing that ultimate team role that we saw earlier on in the women's race. He's able to just sit on the wheel of Vujasin here, not help, not contribute. The gap continues to open up, Rob. 15 seconds, heading towards 16.
Look at that, we heard the bagpipes in the background there. They might want to start playing We Are the Champions in a minute, because Hill is riding away to victory. On the right-hand side, this is a victory final 800 metres. He has an 18-second lead over his teammate Kaminski, over Vujasin. The celebrations are starting, a punch of the air from Hill. We knew he wins races all over Asia. He's adding Singapore to his list right here.
A man who came back from a terrible crash 5 years ago. The rehabilitation of his injuries took some time, but he's come back stronger. And this is the Ben Hill that we knew. This is an incredible performance from the Australian.
And he has got a great chance here to put his team into the overall lead as well, because Fuego picked up as many points already that they're going to pick up in this race. There's going to be big points here for Hill, and I wonder if Kaminski can get beyond Vujasin to make it a 1-2. First of all, it's 250 metres. Ben Hill, the man from down under, still putting out 560 watts here, and he knows he's already won. It's a victory ride up the hill. Finally, we see the finish arch. The River Clyde and its bridge in the background. Crossing the bridge to glory, though, is Ben Hill. Victory for Hill, victory for Team Epic. Top points for them, and now we wait to see if they can make it a 1-2. Because behind you've got Kaminski, his teammate, who's still pedaling. You have Vujasin, who's there as well. Kaminski just behind him. Vujasin trying to salvage what he can for Team Lava, who are going to finish in 3rd place after our first round of 3 today. But look at this now. The move is about to be made. Power-ups are taken. Vujasin still has the power, though. Kaminski's giving it his all. He can't get around. And look at Vujasin go. Pedaling away. Denying the 1-2. Kaminski, 3rd place, his team into the lead. Sensational stop from Ben Hill, the winner. And Team Epic Hannah, who go into the lead.
Exceptional performance there from the team in blue, Team Epic, but it was really interesting to see the power-ups going head-to-head. Vujasin and Kaminski there. Kaminski with the aero power-up, Vujasin with the feather. Just shows that it was played into the favour of Vujasin with his power, with his prowess on that steep uphill climb up the Clyde kicker.
What drama there we just saw, Hannah and Rob. The first 2 eliminators have not disappointed. I'm hoping that we'll be able to head to the stage right now where our friend Chad is with the winner of the men's eliminator.
A pair of Aussies catching up after this one. Ben, my goodness me, putting the other fellas to the sword. 30 seconds. Where'd you pull that from?
Well, the gap blew out at the end when I had a teammate in the chase group, and made my job easy because they were looking at each other when the teammate's sitting on. The gap can blow out like that.
We had a 1-3 for Team Fuego. You guys fought back with a 1-3 in this race, going to make it very close from here on points.
Yeah, we're really happy. I honestly thought our women's team was the stronger side of the team, so I was really happy the men could step up and get a win.
Can you back it up in the sprint?
We'll see. It's a bit more tactical with the intermediate there, so we'll look at the point situation and have a bit of a debrief and see what we do.
Great work, mate. That was an amazing ride. Put your hands together, Singapore. Ben Hill with the big effort in the men's eliminator. I'm going to run over and have a quick catch-up with Team Lava, Lionel Vujusen. He's one of the real characters of the Zwift world. He put in quite the effort having that fight with the second-place ride right at the end. Lionel, great effort. We'll swing around and get a quick word with you. Talk us through that end battle.
Yeah, nothing I can do. If I chase Ben, Mihal is going to cut me at the end, so I prefer to save second place for the team than risking to be third. So, yeah, it's a team event, so you have to think for the team first. So, yeah, a bit disappointed, but we go on.
You're used to cycling at home, surrounded by your amazing variety of pets. And so we're looking forward to seeing how this is going to go a bit later on in the sprint. Congratulations. Good feeling down here at the moment. They need to recover, though, Anita, because there's not long to go until the next one.
Much, Chad. I'm sure Lionel will hope we can bring one of his pets over for the next event. What a show we saw there from the men's eliminator. Here are the results as they stand from the men's eliminator. So Ben Hill, we heard the Aussie, he picked up all 8 points. Then, of course, Lionel, one of the big characters of our men's teams here, 7 points. And you see the rest of the results there as well. Turning to you, Rob and Hannah. Was that a surprise, that end?
We've seen 2 different races there, haven't we, on the same parkour. It just shows that esports cycling can throw up every scenario possible. This is how it's happened with the points. Really close between Epic and Fuego, but we saw a close race in the first race. A big gap, 20 seconds there at the end. We're going up to shorter races now, and with Titans down here at the bottom, Anita, they need to sprint quickly.
Right, so here's a reminder of the race schedule. We've now finished the eliminator for both the women and the men. Coming up is the sprint. Hannah, we've got the course map up showing to our spectators at home. What can we expect from this course?
Yeah, we're on to the Glasgow Crit Circuit, and this is a point-style format. So we'll have the intermediate sprint, a bonus sprint, have you like, at the Clyde Kicker. 3 points available for only 1 rider to cross the finish line. It's a short one. It tells it in the name, doesn't it? The sprint. 3.2 kilometers, only 34 meters of elevation. And the scoring at the finish line, 5 points for first, 3 points for the second place, and only 1 point for third. If you come fourth, there's no points available, so crucial to try and pick up points in this one, and especially for Titans if they want to try and close that gap.
Speaking of Titans, what do they need to do differently going into this second race?
Ride quickly. Less tactical here as well. I think more about power on the line. There's an opportunity to maybe score in the middle, as Hannah was saying as well, but they're going to have to lay it all on the line. It's short, sharp and fast, this one.
Right, so they've got to lay it all on the line. They've got less than 20 seconds to go for the sprint. Hannah and Rob, I believe you're in position to take over for us. We're getting ready for the sprint, the women's sprint, taking off the 3rd race of 6. Please take over, Rob and Hannah.
Well, the old Glasgow shipbuilding cranes in the background there. We're ready to go. We're off in the city centre. It's 3.2 kilometres, this one. Nowhere near as much climbing. Big crowd in the arena here, big crowd on the road. We're downtown now, Hannah.
We certainly are, and this is into a thrilling circuit here in Glasgow. Godby at the back, just to take you through the riders here. Jackie Godby of Epic in the blue. Marley Bjarhed, the Swedish rider of Fuego, in the yellow. Just on the right-hand side there. Lam Kong, the double Hong Kong national champion, in the red for Lava. You can just see her sitting in 3rd wheel at the moment. And Vicky Whitelaw, the former road professional, in the green, the rider from Australia.
So 3 kilometres to go already, and a top pace being put out. The power numbers are good, the effort and pain faces are on. Lam at the top right-hand side, Godby bottom right as we look, of course wearing red and blue in both the virtual and physical worlds. Bjarhed ahead there, left-hand side, just moving to the front of the group. And in the green, it's Whitelaw, who's just behind. Around the corner they come, racing for a minute. and the pace is being picked up. It's like watching a criterion, this.
It is, and this is where you really need to train your ability to recover from the previous effort that we had in the Eliminator. So it's all about that physical ability, working on your peak power on a race like this, because it's high wattage that is needed. We know that Godby has that raw power from her rowing days, the triathlon.
Yeah, the head now moving to the front. There she is. That's Godby who sits at the front. Remember, this is an event. This is a sport that's gone from strength to strength. We know it's fun. Everybody can do it. You can get on Zwift, ride with your mates around the world. You can be on one continent, they can be on another. It'll be a different time of day.
You can, and this is an opportunity for riders on Zwift to be able to ride with their friends, their family, who live on different parts of the world. And not only that, you see former and current Olympic champions using Zwift, the likes of Sir Chris Hoy, one of the most decorated Olympians in the UK. And so this is a platform for everybody. It doesn't matter at what level you race at. Also, Jason Osborne, the inaugural Esports world champion, a silver medalist in the Olympic Games in Rio.
Jason Osborne, now a professional road cyclist after he's come through esports. I mean, what's he going to do next? 3 different sports? Boss them all. Who's going to boss it on the road here? We've had our opening 1.5 kilometres or so of looking around at each other. The pace is picking up. We're going up to the first arch and our intermediate sprint that's coming up. There are points here on the road.
You can see Bjarhed starting to wind things up in the yellow jersey, and you see Lam Kong wants to try and go early, but here goes Whitelaw with the feather power up, and on a wheel there is Bjarhed.
There is Lam giving absolutely everything. Yu Yasan is going, and Lam's going to come around. Lam's there, and look at this, she's going to do it for Hong Kong. Lam with the points at the intermediate sprint. Rapid.
Wow, timed that one to perfection, and you just saw the effort that Lam Kong was able to put in there, the encouragement from her teammates. 3 points in the bag for Team Lava. They were the crucial points they needed.
And they needed them. They needed them. So from the intermediate sprint, we now change our attention. There's a problem for Jackie Godby, though. She's trailing. She's almost 6 seconds behind here. A big effort. Anna, can she recover in time for the final sprint? Because she's got to chase back. She's got to get on. She'll have to sprint again, and there's only 1.2 kilometers to go.
It's an effort that she needs to make now or never, because as you see, the gap starts to open up to 7 seconds. She'll be hoping that this trio out front will be looking at each other. They'll be waiting. They'll be waiting for the other rider to make that move, and you can see she starts to pull back a little bit of time, 6.5 seconds. If it goes in this direction, it plays into the hands of the big sprinter from the USA.
A look around, a watch on. Is this the moment that Vicky Whitelaw can do the business? The Aussies pelling away in the green. Bjarhed from Sweden is there for Team Fuego. Remember, they want to get right back up to the top.
And look at the teamwork with Vicky Whitelaw there of Team Titan. She's got Zach Nair and Kiel Power all surrounding her. She's, by the looks of things, she's going to tell them when she wants them to deploy the power up, so that she can be full in the drops. She can be at full power.
Here we go. And here we go. Look at Godby. Look at Godby. How she made her way back on here. They were all looking around. They were waiting. She snuck back up into the slipstream, but is there now enough energy with 350 meters to go to win the sprint?
This is the all-important question. Can Godby recover? And she starts to wind things up at the front at the moment. And Godby starts to unleash. She's upwards of 700 watts at the moment into the sprint.
This is a huge, huge power output for Jackie Godby. If she wins this from the back, it will be the performance of the day. But she's overtaken. Lam's going again, looking for sprint 2 out of 2. She's cheered on across the line, and Lam has it. She's done the double. That is quite the magnificent performance. Hong Kong flying high. Team Lava seeing that eruption. They have done it. They have the points. They have dominated the women's sprint.
Tactical masterclass, physical masterclass. Lam Kong, what a performance. That was exceptional. That was a really, really impressive performance from Lam Kong.
Well, we'll wait to get the classified results there, but it looked as though Lam still at the top when we saw the graphic, but it was a really good effort there from Whitelaw to try and get around in the slipstream.
It was. And you saw she was trying to use that draft, but Lam Kong used Jackie Godby to perfection there.
Great. Well, thanks very much, Rob and Hannah. What a performance from Lam Kong and Team Lava. They managed to turn things around, and I believe Chad is down there with Lam.
I am, Anita, and she's totally exhausted. We saw the exertion from you in the Eliminator. You embodied the Olympic spirit, fighting back to win in the sprint. Did you use that as motivation, what happened earlier?
Yes, I love my teammates' effort. They help me a lot and just encourage me a lot. I need to fight for them. Yeah.
You said you have the best team when I walked up to you a moment ago. Talk us through the encouragement. What were they yelling at you?
We actually met one week before, and they will support each other, and we talk about the strategy before the race, and they help a lot.
Well done, Lam. That was an excellent ride. Congratulations to the rider from Hong Kong. That was so big on the effort scale. I'm going to get over to Vicky Whitelaw and get a quick word over here as well. I haven't been over to this side of the stage. Vicky, so close. You're right there. A big ride from Lam Kong at the end. You're back on the bike, keeping warm. This team needs some points right now.
We do, but we've got two more races. Three more races, and we're the comeback kings and queens.
Yeah. It's not over till it's over. How tight was that sprint, and how much of a tactical fight was that?
Oh, look, we're racing against the top of the world, so this sprint is highly contested. Yeah.
All right, best of luck for the next couple of races. Still in this one.
Very much, Chad. So we've got to make something very clear there. Our team had to go to a photo finish. Rob, can you talk us through what that meant in terms of who actually won the race?
They've had another look. They have had another look. The game rendering ever so slightly in delay that we saw that. It was so close. They had to look at it closely. But I'm afraid there is disappointment in the end on that picture for Team Lava because Lam indeed was not the winner. I gather the winner has come from somewhere else.
Yep, she has, and I believe it was Team Fuego, Marlene. So congratulations to Team Fuego, picking up maximum points there from the sprint. But we do have to talk about Lam there because in that eliminator, she didn't have the best of times there, but managed to turn it around, picking up the bonus points in that sprint and then finishing second overall.
I think that shows the mental strength of Lam Kong. She didn't have the best of races in that opening race in the eliminator, but she was able to come back, reset, forget about the performance in race one, and come into the sprint, take the 3 points at the intermediate sprint, at that bonus sprint on the Clyde kicker, and then still come through and perform well at the finish line. And I think that's a full credit to Lam Kong.
We just saw the results a moment ago. It is really tight up there. Team Fuego took the lead thanks to Marlene getting all the points, the top points there. Here's the race schedule. So we've just seen the sprint women's winner coming from Team Fuego. We're getting ready for the sprint for the men's. I asked you after the eliminator, what lessons could the men take from the women's eliminator? Looking at what we've just seen in the sprint, what lessons will the men take this time?
Don't celebrate too early, perhaps. We know that it's a photo finish. I gather, I'm hearing they had to look at it several times, not just the once, but several times to confirm that Bjerrehead was the winner. 3.2 kilometres again, same race coming up, but of course, we know how close it is, and we might just hold our fire to see exactly who'll do it, because we've got some really powerful riders here.
We're talking about the Olympic Esports Week. You mentioned photo finish. That is the level of technical stuff we've got going on here in order to get a winner here. There's so much on the line. We said it's an historic event. These riders are putting everything into it to be the inaugural winners of the Olympic Esports final when it comes to cycling.
Look, Anita, we're talking about 16 of the best esports riders in the world. They are at the top of their game. It's always going to come so close on the line. It's going to come down to the wire, and they all come in with some fantastic form as well. They've peaked for this one. This is a huge moment. So we're not talking about riders who perhaps aren't finding their form. They're in a big training phase. This is these 16 riders coming in with the best form that they've ever had in their lifetime. It's always going to come down so close at the finish.
It really will. So we're getting ready for the men's sprint. It will be coming in just a moment. Rob, just a few words from you with the men getting ready for this. You said they shouldn't celebrate too soon. Do you think there's anything else that they'll be thinking about going into this race?
Now this is about pure speed, isn't it? We saw that twice. I mean, if you lose contact, maybe you can make a tactical error, be off the pace. We saw that from Godby, who really made it difficult for herself, didn't she, Hannah? I guess having to place catch up.
She did, and I think, again, it shows just the mental tenacity of Jackie Godby, seeing herself 7 seconds in arrears of the 3 riders up the road, being able to get herself back on and open that sprint up to try and go for the victory. It all comes down to that physical ability, but also the mental strength.
Well, the women's sprint was truly entertaining. We are going to be throwing over to the men in just one moment. Of course, at the bottom of the table is the green team, the Team Titans. They're really going to have to work hard to try and pull back some points before we go into that final race of the day. A lot of pressure on Team Titans. We'll, of course, be keeping you across, and Chad will give us immediate reaction at the end of it. So over to the men. Rob and Hannah are in position to take us through the men's sprint.
Back to the virtual world. The sprint, men's edition. Same course, same drill, pure power required. And off we go. There's Barnes in the yellow from South Africa, up against Kiel Power. He's there in the green. Ben Hill is back in action again, wearing the blue jersey. And they're 3 of the 4 riders.
Ben Hill fue el ganador de la sprint anterior.
Fastish start.
You say fastest start, to give you some insight as to how fast these riders are going. 54 kilometers per hour, and this is just the beginning, Rob.
Teppo Laurio, the other rider in this race, he's wearing the red. We've got the distance to go up, we've got the preamble out the way now. 3 kilometers to go, same drill as I said, intermediate sprint, remember, at the top of the hill. It's an interesting one, that intermediate sprint, isn't it? Because it isn't just a sprint, it's an uphill sprint. How does that change things?
It's an uphill sprint, but it's also whether you want to use all of your resources, your energy, to try and make sure that you secure those 3 points. If you come second and you still make such a concerted effort, it's a real waste of time, it's a waste of energy there. So you've got to be really focused and stick to the strategy that you've planned coming into this race with your teammates, because if you start to go onto a different path, a different road, you don't make a full commitment to that intermediate sprint. It's just throwing away the watts, throwing away. If you can imagine, you start with a glass of water. Every time that you use an effort, every time that you sprint, you're tipping out a little bit of water of your cup. And once you get to the end of the race, if you've used too much of that power, you finish with an empty cup, and you don't have what it takes to be able to sprint against your rivals.
And everybody knows everybody else's metrics, the data, it's up on screen. That is something different than what we're going to see at the Tour de France next week.
It certainly is, Rob, it certainly is. And I think this is the real unique prospect of Zwift and esports, that you do have this data available. These riders know exactly how riders like to race. We have others. James Barnes is one rider who likes to change his tactic all the time. He always likes to keep his opponents on their toes, never let them know, sort of keep it predictable. He's a really unpredictable rider.
There he's in the yellow. He should know, because he's a veteran of over 400 races on the Zwift platform. He's got the record for the most Zwift Premier Division races in a single year. He was again in the top 10 at the World Championships. Takes a drink.
Takes a drink on his avatar, but in real life he's starting to sprint and open things up early. He's a prolific winner in the Zwift Premier Division, and at the moment, with the cheering from Mjali and Bjerhead, he opens up with an aero power-up. He's going to collect the 3 points. He's had no challenge at the moment. 3 points to Team Fuego.
Ben Hill just off the back again, 2 seconds behind, should make it back on, but Team Fuego are on fire, and it's James Barnes who takes those intermediate sprint points. And the first blood drawn in this very, very quick men's sprint race. 1.4 Ks to go. Times and points up there. Team Fuego are leading going into the final 2 events, but it could all change again as Hill flies through the group, flies past them, continues his effort. He's taken a flyer.
He's taken a flyer, and at the moment 12.6 watts per kilogram. We're touching on 900 watts, and just look at that monster gear that he's churning on the watt bike. He's keeping a nice cadence on his avatar in the game. He goes into that aero tuck. Takes some respite, takes some recovery, rounds the right-hand turn, and look at the power from Hill.
This is going to take some effort if he will hold it to the finale. Can they work together behind to catch him? It's a 2.1 second gap. It's growing. It's 2.3 seconds now. 650 metres to the line, and they are struggling to catch him. It's 3 seconds of a delay. 3.7 still goes. There's a power-up used. 500 metres. He did it in the race early on today. He's doing it again here.
And he only continues to build his lead. 6 seconds he's reaching at the moment. And for Ben Hill, he wants to try and go back-to-back, 2 from 2 at the moment. Godby on his right-hand side. There's Kaminski with full cheering on his left-hand side, and this is going to hurt now.
Put those photo finish cameras away. Not needed for this one. Ben Hill with an 8-second lead, 100 metres to go. The challenge here is for second place from Power, who's doing that, but celebrating across the line for the second time today. Mr. Prolific, Mr. Esports this morning, Ben Hill, the star of the show.
An incredible performance from Hill there. The way that he's able to take this on, go early, take everyone by surprise, the power that he's able to sustain. He's doing the damage, he's destroying his opponents.
Well, Team Epic yet again taking the victory. We saw Fuego there at the intermediate sprint. Epic around them. What a fight this is for the title.
It really is shaping up into such an interesting fight for the title. Chad, I believe, is with the man who picked up all the points, his fellow Aussie. Are you there, Chad?
I am. I've actually ducked down one step because I wanted to get a quick word off Jackie Godby for the sole reason that she was going completely bonkers at the end of that race. You were in charge of encouraging your teammates along. I think you did a pretty good job. This team still in a very good position.
Thank you. I mean, I think this really speaks to the joy of doing this in person. You know, normally I'm in my basement, and here I get to be with the epic Zwifter. He has earned the name Epic now. He defines our team, and it's fun to get excited. So I want all of you in the audience, get as excited with me. We're here, we're in person, and we're having fun.
Legend, Jackie. That's exactly why I got her, because I thought she was going to be like that. Well done, Ben. I'm going to come over and get a quick word with James Barnes, South African, did a nice job there as well. Let's come on down the steps. James, good ride, picked up some bonus points. Fuego are taking this deep here at the Olympic Esports Week.
I think it's clear, you can see the effort on everybody's faces. Everybody has done a huge amount of work to get to this point, and everybody's laying it down on the line, and hopefully everybody's enjoying and seeing, you know, the hard work that everybody has to put in to do it. We're the best 16 to be here, and it's just an amazing experience to be a part of this.
We are now into the climbs, just 2 races to go. How much would you love to lift that epic trophy behind you?
It's a childhood dream. It's as simple as that, you know. I think you can see we've all given it our best, and it's the best shot that we have, and, you know, you can't regret it because we've all given our best.
Well done, James. Anita, things are really heating up down here.
Yeah, thank you so much for the instant reaction from some of our riders there, Chad. So here are the final times and the results from the men's sprint. It is really shaping up as we go into the final 2 races. Rob, I think you want to say something from what we're seeing.
Just look at that. This is a sprint race. 10 seconds of a victory in a sprint race. That's where we should have been having another photo finish. But moving on to the climb, this is where you might expect a 10-second gap.
It is. And that's an incredible performance from Hill. But this is the distance, 2.7 kilometres on the climb. We're on the City and Sker climb, and the riders will know this. They will have practiced. You come out of the gate, you make that right-hand turn, the sweeping left over the Clyde River, and then this is where the climb starts. So it's going to be a difficult one. We've got our first riders. Within there is Charlotte Colclough, Lou Bates, Alice Lethbridge, and Lisa Hermanson, all taking on and ready for the climb.
So this is the first Olympic Esports Series final of the next few days. We heard James just saying that it would be a dream to win it. So much on the line. They're putting their all out there.
They certainly are, and as I said in commentary, 400 Zwift races at least. He's obviously used to competing alone, he's competed in teams as well, and we've got plenty to talk about in terms of teams, because we're coming to the finale. I think we're going to see the points and where we stand in a moment's time, and it's a good idea to have a look at it, because we're just 1 event left, 2, if you count it as men's and women's races. Look at that. James Barnes' teams is in the lead.
Well, that dream could be coming very true for him in just a couple of races. 2 points between Team Fuego in yellow and Team Epic in the blue. Team Lava, 7 points adrift at the second, and then Team Titans as well. We spoke about them going into that sprint. It is tough for them, but they have been putting their all out there. These are the 16 best, so incredible effort from all our teams so far.
Fantastic effort, yes. However, in Team Titans, I'm afraid, right at the bottom there, they need a miracle here. Otherwise, I think we're ringing whichever company manufactures wooden spoons in Singapore to come quickly.
Yes, and of course, we will be awarding the top 3. So imagine 4 teams here to miss out on something on these inaugural Olympic Esports Week would just be so painful.
Within the climb, the first rider across and the winner of the climb will take 8 points. In second, you'll have the 5 points. In third, you'll take away 3 points. And only 1 point for the rider who crosses the line in fourth. So it's all going to change across these 2 races. The final races here for the women and the men, the climb.
Well, Hannah, thank you so much for setting us up there with the summary of the points on offer. Rob, Hannah, I'll throw it over to you for the first of our 2 climbs with the women.
We're looking at the top of the mountain as we pan back down into the city. It's not long in terms of distance, this. It's 2.7 kilometres leaving Glasgow, going up to Sker, the top of the hill. But 63 metres to climb, Hannah. We know how you go about riding. You've got to be first over the line to take all the points. But 3 races back to back. Hydration, fueling, recovery. How have they been dealing with this?
It's incredibly important to make sure that you're keeping yourself well fueled, well hydrated, especially when you're doing static cycling. You're moving, you're not having the wind blow through your face and through your hair. So important to make sure you're keeping on top of your hydration, making sure that your fan in front of you is on its maximum capacity. Keep that core body temperature as cool as possible, but keep that focus. And look at Lisa Hermansen in the green in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen there. The focus, the poise. She really wants to try and add some points here for Titans.
All about the power to rate ratio, this race, isn't it?
It is, and it's important that for those riders who are lighter, of course their power to weight could be slightly higher, but this is all about, again, not going too early. You can almost bring yourselves into a false sense of opening up too early, and it can do some catastrophic damage to yourself if you get it mightily wrong.
Physically, everybody has their limit. They will know which numbers in terms of watts and heart rate where they're putting themselves in trouble. They will roughly know, these athletes, that on a good day, how long they can continue the efforts for. They have to use that knowledge. They also have to use the power-ups and the help they get in the game.
If you take a look at Lou Bates, for example, this race, I would estimate, is going to be around 5 minutes long, maybe just touching under 5 minutes. She's able to sustain 330 watts for 5 minutes as we go onto the Sker Summit North, onto the gravel. Alice Lethbridge starting to open up.
Making a move, and you can see the power numbers going up. You can see there's a little gap now between the bikes as well. Her Bridgestone bike, she's pedaling here in the real world on a Watt bike on the stage. And behind, though, as you said, she did go with that early move, perhaps a little early, because Bates has come around her now. Lethbridge has to sit in if she can and try and recover. But all of the climbing is back-loaded on this parkour. All comes now in the final kilometre and a bit. And already, just like that, after 2.5 minutes of racing, we're heading into the final kilometre now.
You could see that Lethbridge was thinking about trying to make a move, or perhaps just testing her opponent. Will they react? Will they start to open up? And then she can follow the wheels. She can use the draft of the other riders. At this climb, it's 1.6 kilometres in total. We're 600 metres into the climb with an average gradient of 3.7%. But we're seeing maximum gradient drop of 8.3. That's where the road really starts to ramp and rise.
Change in pace means you can't really get into a rhythm either. The resistance changes on those pedals beneath you.
It does, and this is for some riders where their attributes, their physical attributes, they like to get themselves into a rhythm on a climb. Lou Bates, for example, she really thrives on these short, punchy climbs. It's something that she's trained for, and for her birthday last year, of her local climb, she did 40 reps.
How many?
40 reps of a 50-second climb. It's short, sharp gradients. And this is going to suit the rider from Great Britain.
And she's there at the front, the rider from Nottingham who came to esports and cycling, rowing and triathlon all together. She's out at the front. Behind her is Lethbridge in the red, her compatriot. Hermonsen on the other side. The other Brit in the race in the green, Colclough. And here we go. Time to move, time to go. Pedalling away, finish line up ahead. Up the hill all the way to the line. That's the aim of the game here. Points are on offer and a big chance with Bates now opening up the road. 300 metres to the line. She has to keep it going here. The numbers are big, Hannah.
The numbers are big, and you can see over 500 watts the output for Lou Bates with gritted teeth at the moment. She starts to open her advantage 4 seconds to Lethbridge at the moment. And at the moment, can they respond with 137 metres to go?
7% the gradient. It's ramping all the way up to the line. Ever so slight chance of a bit of a rest now. Round the corner she comes, and she can even celebrate. A 5-second margin of victory. Hands in the air for Lou Bates to win it. Fuego take the lead.
No, Fuego es una cosa.
Second to Colclough, it seems, as well. That is some ride from Lou Bates. She had her down as the favourite and she pulled it off.
She did. And when you've got that pressure on your shoulders as coming into a race as the favourite, but being able to execute that, incredibly difficult. But Bates took it all in her stride. She worked to her abilities as a rider. She utilised her experience, her physical attributes. And as I said, that kind of climb is the bread and butter for Bates.
Sí.
Rob, Hannah, all I can think about with James's words saying that it's a dream if he could win this. Lou has got him one step closer to that dream. And of course, our good friend Chad is with the winner. Chad, what you got for us?
Anita Lou's just whipped the headband off. Job done. You can finally start to enjoy yourself now. How much focus, how much training went into those few minutes just there?
A lot of training, but I think that applies to all of us. You know, everyone's put so much work into preparing for this event. We've just been so excited about it. And yeah, it's been awesome so far.
Time to get behind Martin now, who's going to bring this team home. Is it starting to get a little closer now? Can you just about taste the victory here?
I don't think we've got it sewn up yet. There are too many good athletes in this arena. But yeah, Martin, it's all on you now.
All right, well done to Team Fuego. I'm going to quickly duck over here and see if I can get Charlotte Colclough as well, who was second in that big climb. And riders from Great Britain doing a great job here. I might just ask her about that. Zwift in Great Britain, how much time do you spend on it? Why is this so big for you back home?
Oh, a lot of time. I've been doing it for the last couple of years, and I just love the fact it fits into your life so easily. I can jump on after work and get a good session in. And made so many friends as well, which has been fantastic to meet them all here as well. So, super excited to be here. I'm a little out of breath.
Yeah, a little out of breath, I'll say. And how about to be able to introduce a sport that you love and a game that you love to a whole new audience?
It's fantastic. It's such an amazing experience. It feels quite surreal and, yeah, fantastic for everyone to share how much we love Zwift.
Well done. Well, one race to go, and Anita, the girls have put it all on the line. Now it's the attention to the men's race.
Yep, the attention will be turning to the men's race in just a moment, but here are the final results from the women's climber. As we mentioned, Lou Bates getting maximum points there. That was her time. Charlotte Colclough coming in second. And then, of course, it was our Lava team in third and then Titans in fourth. And here's the overall points as it stands. Rob, 5 points between Team Fuego and Team Epic. What do you think it's going to go down to in the men's climb?
In terms of the mathematics, you said 5 points between them. This is the last event coming up of the sixth, the men's climb you mentioned. 8 points goes to the winner. 5 points to second place. 3 points to third, and a single measly point for the last rider over the line. So, do your quick maths if you can. Never been my strong point, so we might have to have a little conversation after the finish. Let's see. This is what they're taking on. We've just seen it, but 8 points, first or second, does the job certainly, doesn't it, for Martin Martins? Even a third place, realistically, does the job as well. So as long as Team Fuego are not last, they should be the winners.
They should be, but you did say there was quite a few permutations there when it comes to the mathematics. Hannah, how do you see it going into this final race for Team Fuego and, of course, Team Epic.
I think between Team Fuego, they can't rest on their laurels now. They need to keep that focus. They can't go in already taking that celebration and knowing just how strong they've been and consistent they have been. They're going to have really strong opposition from Michael Kamiński, the rider in the blue jersey there from Team Epic. And it's not over until it's over, until there's 0 kilometers of racing to go. They've got to fight all the way until the finish line.
Well, both those two teams fighting it out to be the inaugural winners of the Olympic esports event in cycling have got just under 3 minutes to prepare for it. Rob, if you were some of the women on their team who will be standing by, what would you be saying to them?
Follow what we've just done. I know it's very simple. Listen, no, Lou, talking serious tactics, Team Fuego, they're perfectly set up for this particular event. If you look back to the history of the riders, Lou Bates, who's just done what she did, Hannah knows her very well. Hannah knows her abilities. Hannah knows that she's a former national hill climb champion. And if you look to Martin Mertens, who's now going to take it on for Fuego, back home in Germany, he has been a state hill climb champion. And what are we taking on, Hannah?
Well, we're taking on a climb. This is the perfect ability. This is the perfect race for Martin Mertens. And I think with his short, explosive capabilities, as he's getting the last little chats with James Barnes, his teammate, and I think having seen the performance from Lou Bates, that's incredibly motivating. And we've seen that they've become one unit, the team in yellow there, Team Fuego. They've got that trust, they've got that confidence within each other. And I really think, Rob, that's shining through here.
It is, but let me just sow a seed of doubt, because we know this is sport, this is entertainment. We know that anything can happen in this first ever event. Just imagine if he's not eaten or drunk properly this morning. Just imagine if those legs suddenly fail him. We don't wish it upon anybody, but there's still a job to do. He can't just turn up here and ride around. Mathematically, it is not assured, and to be assured, they definitely need to finish in the first 2.
And one thing Team Epic have, the team in blue, is Jackie Godby. Wow, what a cheerleader she has been. She got the crowd pumping earlier. I believe she'll be there right in the ear of her man in blue, who will be taking on that final race to try and give them a chance of winning this inaugural event when it comes to the Olympic esports finals in cycling. We are getting so close to the final race. We would have seen 6 races in just a few moments. So much on the line here. It's been so exciting, and we couldn't have expected a better start.
We couldn't, but this is crunch time now, Anita. This is what it's all culminated to this final race here, the climb for the men. Kamiński will be taking it on for Team Epic. Martin Mertens there in the yellow, Lionel Villarsin in the red for Team Lava, and Zach Nair in the green for Team Titans. This is what it's all coming down to.
16 of the best riders started here today to hopefully make history. They've already made history coming here in the inaugural Olympic esports series. Team Epic and Team Fuego will be going head-to-head to hopefully get their hands on the first title this year for cycling in the Olympic esports. Rob, Hannah, please take it away for our final race of the day.
The culmination of an historic morning in Singapore. 4 riders, 1 goal to lift that final trophy, our first ever Olympic Esports Week trophy. They're there, they're on the screen, they're racing, they're riding. We know it's going to be short, we know it's a big effort. Martins, the man we're all watching in the yellow, his team in the lead. Team Fuego with Kamiński there in the blue. Team Epic, Villarsin riding for Team Lava. And also in there, Zach Nair, the American, he's in the green for his team, the Titans. They're bottom of the table at the moment. They can't win here.
They can't win, but one thing that they can do is really create some excitement in this. They've got nothing to lose, so don't be surprised if Zach Nair tries to go for a long one, tries to break his opponents in this race, and even if he can come away with a race victory at the top of the climb on Sker Summit, this is a real fantastic moment for the rider from the USA.
Zach Nair, a sports fanatic, played soccer before he got a few nasty knee injuries, then came into Zwift, got into cycling in his teenage years. He downloaded Zwift for the first time in March 2020, but look at where he's come. He's here at this Olympic Esports Week. He's a 2-time Premier League winner in Zwift, A top 10 finisher in the Worlds. As you say, he could be the party pooper today.
He could be. But this is what we've seen, the evolution of esports over the last 3, 4, 5 years. And for these riders, they've spent hours and hours and hours racing, training on this platform to make sure that they are the very best in the world.
1.7 kilometers to go. We know it's a build-up to the climb, this. The climb's not far from beginning. They're going to go across the water here, onto the cobbles briefly. They'll be happier when they get onto this road now. Starts with a little bit of gravel. Climb starts properly now. Road starts to go uphill. 2%, 3%. It will ramp up even more to a maximum 8%. That gradient indicator starts to change colour. It's getting harder, Hannah.
It is. We go from 3% to 4% at the moment. And Lionel Viarsin leading his way up this climb. The other riders on this part of the course able to benefit from that draft, follow the wheels, save that energy at the moment. It's all about a game of patience, precision. It's short and sharp, but there's no room for error here. You can't make any mistakes, and especially when it's so close at the top of the standings.
Vujasin from the cycling mad nation of Belgium. There he is at the front in the red. Mertens, as I mentioned, State Hill climb champion back home in Germany. He's putting out 6.2 watts per kilo at the minute. They're big numbers. Here he is on the screen, being talked along by his big helpers. Lou Bates is there to provide her own advice. Vujasin looking around. There is Zachnier, top right of our picture, into the final kilometre, and things will start to really build up now. 3 minutes, 15 seconds of racing under this arch, and again the gradient kicks up. 800 metres to go. Vujasin is starting to go, and steepest part on the course here.
Steepest part on the course, and Kaminsky just accelerating to try and close that gap to Nair there. He follows Martins, and this is a real tactical play here because Kaminsky doesn't want to lose sight of Martins in the yellow jersey. You can just see he's glued to the back wheel of the rider in yellow. Side by side, gap starts to open up, and Viarsin takes advantage of the fact that the two riders from Epic and Fuego are following each other.
And they're following each other because there's 5 difference in the final general classification for the teams to take the trophy. And Martins here's at the back. Remember what I said at the start, the only thing he couldn't really afford to do was to finish last. Let's see how it goes, because this now is Vujasin. Nair is coming to the front. Kaminsky could do with getting himself a place further up to keep the dream alive for his team.
It's 0.3 of a second from Martins to Kaminsky at the moment, and Kaminsky has made his way back through, but can Martins respond, because this is all sorts of pain, and he's got the cheer from Bates at the moment.
They need to lay it all right in the line. There's Zach Nair going for the finish. You can see now Vujasin as well as the bike wobbles beneath him. Nair down into 3rd place. Martins where he needs to be for now. Kaminsky's up in 2nd, but it's Vujasin who's there. Vujasin who will take the victory, and behind it it's a bit of a photo finish to see who will finish 2nd or 3rd. It's close. We're going to have to wait for those final results, Hannah, but victory in this race goes to Vujasin, but it's a tense, tight wait to see what will happen in terms of the team. There's a trophy up for grabs here. I said it's an historic day. It is the perfect ending, a perfect finale for Vujasin and for you fans wherever you're watching around the world, because we're doing those sums right now, Anita.
We definitely are, Rob, and we had to turn to a photo finish earlier. It's happening once again. All the drama in the final race. Can you believe it? The climb for the men has meant that we've had to go to a photo finish. So stay tuned. We will be bringing you the winner of the inaugural Olympic Esports final when it comes to cycling. Swift have delivered here. We've had the drama. We've had all the energy from the riders. These are the 16 best riders when it comes to virtual cycling. They haven't disappointed whatsoever.
This is why we love sport, isn't it? Nothing's ever certain in sport. It provides the excitement. Anything can change in the last little moments there. And it's just provided some real thrill across all 6 races today. And as Rob said before, normally we'd be seeing a photo finish in the sprint, but it's the climb where we're starting to take a look at who has got the big points, who has come out on top.
Right, so Hannah, sorry to cut you off. We have got the results in. So Lionel did pick up all points from there, but look at that, Rob. Who came in 2nd?
2nd place to Martin Mertens, and by my calculations, that means that victory at the inaugural Cycling Esports Week 2023 goes to Team Fuego. Look at that, 45 points, place 38. Second place with an epic performance of their own for the team of the same name. Team Lava, close, and they complete the podium on 33 points. But it's a disappointing trip to the wooden spoon factory for Team Titans, I'm afraid. The winners, Team Fuego.
Yep, and let's head to the winners there because Chad is on stage for us.
What a clutch performance, Martin Martins. Everybody has rushed you down here. Congratulations. The first medals and the first trophies here are going to Team Fuego. Congratulations.
Thank you. Just insane. Did not believe that when I came here that we're going to achieve it, but all the teammates, they were so great. Everyone put in that extra little bit of percent to get this title.
We heard James Barnes, your teammate, say this has been a dream since he was a kid. You're about to win the top prize at an Olympics event. That is very real.
Yeah, I haven't dreamed. I have dreamed of it. I haven't thought I would have that chance at some point, and now it's just real.
Congratulations, mate. We'll be having a trophy presentation soon, and we'll be hearing from the winners a bit more later, mate. Well done.
Thanks.
Chad, we just heard there from Martin Martins, who was dubbed the favourite going into this, we've got to say. Rob, you spoke about his extensive experience when it comes to doing climbs in real life. He managed to bring all that talent and expertise to the virtual world here today.
He did, but I think he probably left it a little closer than he might have liked. We had to go to a photo finish for the second place there. You could see on the graphic that we had, the league table, the final league table, it was close. It just proves that the level was so high here. Now, Zwift is a tool that connects everybody socially. We can all go and ride, we all go home after this, wherever country we're living in, we'll ride together. Not a problem. To compete, you can do the same. However, the level at the very top is certainly not social riding, is it? We saw that today.
We really did, and I think anyone tuning in has probably bought into the Olympic esports cycling side of things because it was drama from start to finish. We started with the eliminator. We'll get some highlights for you in a moment. We didn't know how things would shape up. Team Epic looked like they were going to take the lead, and then of course Team Fuego managed to put their mark on things, and they kept that pressure right until the end. And then Lionel and his team were going to throw a spanner in the works there.
They certainly were, and I think what we've seen here is the skill involved to race on Zwift. It's those tactics and the strategy that each of the teams have come into, each of the races. They've stuck to their plan, their strategy, and the way they've executed it has been incredible. But it's that physical ability of all of these riders that has really shone through here.
Okay, well, Rob, Hannah, I believe that the trophy presentation is about to take place. You are watching the inaugural Olympic Esports Series, of course, for cycling. Our riders were all participating in Zwift, and now it's time for them to be awarded with their rightful awards. Here is your trophy presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for what has been an incredible finals for cycling as we begin our trophy presentation. Please show your appreciation once again for the players. And please welcome IOC member David Lebatillon, who will be giving out the trophies. In third place, let's give it up for Team Lava! Well done. Thank you very much, Team Lava, ladies and gentlemen. And now, in second place, let's give it up for Team Epic. Once again, congratulations to second place, Team Epic. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for your winner for the Olympic Esports Series 2023 cycling category, Team Fuego! Thank you very much, Mr. David Lapatian, for presenting the trophies. And let's get Team Fuego to lift the trophy in 3, 2, 1. Team Fuego!
There as Team Fuego celebrates first place.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is only the beginning. We've got more exciting virtual sports coming your way.
So congratulations to Marlene, James, Lou and Martin. They are the first place winners of the first event at the Olympic Esports Series. As I said, incredible scenes. They said it was a dream. The dreams come true.
Bueno, nada, muchachos. Gracias por acompañarme. Las pocas personas que se pasaron, pero a lo mejor nos ven en YouTube después mañana. Empezaron las Olimpiadas de Esports. Me encantó Swift, me encantaron las bicicletas. Quiero comprarme una. Y nada, pues las 3 de la mañana Rocket League, no creo que lo veamos en vivo. Pero a las 7:30 estaremos Just Dance. Gracias. Bye bye.